guys, welcome back to my channel and to another What I Eat Today. Thank you so much for continuing to log on and join me for fantastic days of food, and I hope that these are giving you inspiration, motivation. But thank you so much for joining us. Today I had a bit of a bougie breakfast, if I'm honest. I woke up quite hungry. Do you think it's owing to the fact that I'm running around with the kids all day long? Normally I'm not a massive breakfast person. I start most days with fruit or porridge at a push, but yeah, today I woke up quite hungry, and yesterday I baked a loaf of bread. You may have seen the vlog that I featured in. If not, I'll link it above, so you can go and check that out. But it was delicious, and I had some of that this morning. I'm just pointing it as if it was a loaf, like a sourdough loaf from Tesco, which is quite weighty, which my loaf is a little bit weightier. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I had it with some melted cheese on top with some HP sauce. Again, quite bougie for me, quite out there, but I enjoyed it. It set me up for the day, and I'm feeling super full. Now I'm going to go hang out with the kids, do a bit of editing, and I will check back with you guys at lunchtime. But I don't really know what I'm having for lunch. I think I might have something quite light, owing to the fact that I've had quite a big breakfast. I've got some aubergine that needs eating, some tomatoes, some shallots, so I might do like a baked situation in the oven. Not too sure yet. I might even have scrambled eggs with spinach. I'll check back with you at lunchtime. But for tonight, I'm going to be making my homemade burgers. Again, ideal for families, ideal for squirreling them away in the freezer for lunches or for takeaways, and also a great one for getting the kids involved. So homemade burgers with chips. It's going to be delicious. I hope you all enjoy it. Give it a thumbs up if you do, and don't forget to subscribe, and let's get on with it. Bring you up to speed. I had my breakfast, it was absolutely delicious, and now I've popped on some lunch, and as you can see, it wasn't anything too exciting. I chopped up an aubergine because it needed eating, 2 shallots, some red pepper, and just seasoned it with some smoked paprika, salt and pepper, a bit of olive oil, and I also brushed the bottom of my dish with garlic infused butter. And again, it's just going to be like a hot salad kind of thing. Like, I didn't want anything too much. I'm not overly hungry, but that veg does need eating, and I don't want to go all the way through to dinner time. And as you've seen, I've also just made a coffee, which I love these sachets so much. I will link them down below. I always get them from Amazon. I always use the same one, Amazon Prime. They are delicious. They get me through my day. But yeah, I've just popped lunch in. Normally I would sprinkle parmesan on that, but for now I'm going to let that sit in the oven for about 20 minutes, and I'll have it just out of the bowl, and it'll be delicious. Really tasty, really simple, and ideal for today when I wanted something a little bit quicker. Is served, guys. I know it seems quite simple, but as I mentioned, I'm not overly hungry, and this veg just needed eating. Normally I would have this with some sourdough bread and some cheese melted on top, but I'm just going to have it as a warmish salad today and just eat it straight out of the Pyrex once it's cooled down a little bit. There's nothing really better than roasted vegetables, and even though it seems like quite a minimal lunch, there's a ton of flavour here. It's really good for me, and I'm going to go and enjoy. So yeah, very simple one, but this would also make a great side dish. You could have it along eggs as well. It'd be really delicious, or even a steak.
A lifestyle that you and Mom are currently into.
Just really good. It's one of those that doesn't seem like much, but it's so flavorful and delicious. It's Speaking of delicious, I popped 2 of my birthday cake cookies from the freezer into the oven. I do big batches of dough of these and I leave the balls in the freezer so that whenever I fancy a cookie and the mood takes me, all I have to do is pop them in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes and I have a lovely treat. So I can't tell you guys how much these are in regards to point value. I'm just going to use my weeklies for this. Sorry about that, guys. Kids are in the house. But yeah, I'm going to use my weeklies for this. I'm not even going to factor it into my daily allowance. I'm going to pop it on right at the end just because you guys probably wouldn't be eating these. It's a personal recipe of mine and it's probably going to be very point heavy. And if I was losing weight, I wouldn't be eating it, especially a full one. But if I had to guess, I would say you're looking at about 15 to 18 points for one. I'm only going to have half, but still they're quite significant. But if you do want the recipe, let me know. I can pop it in the description box because they are gorgeous and I do love them.
Yep.
Okay, so it's now time to start prepping dinner, and as I mentioned before, I'm making homemade burgers. You guys have seen me make burgers before, but it's very simple. For anyone who's interested, I have 500 grams here of steak mince. I have 50 grams worth of breadcrumbs, which you've just seen me blitz up, an egg yolk for binding, a red onion, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, and a teaspoon of dried parsley. If I had fresh, I would add it, but I'm fresh out of parsley. So I'm gonna get my hands in, get this all molded together and make burger patty shapes. These are going to be 3 points each per burger, which I think is fantastic. You know exactly what goes into them. And I always say, you know, if the kids are at home, which they are at the moment, get them helping, get them to make their own burger. It's a nice sensory activity. Just make sure that you're disinfecting yours and their hands after touching raw meat. But it's really fun. So I'm going to get my hands in, mold these into burger patties, but first I'm going to season generously with salt and pepper. Guys, we've come to the end of another What I Eat video. Thank you so much for joining today and I hope you all liked it. Those burgers were so nice and again, so easy to do, so much less in regards to point value. Had I have not had my cookie today, it wouldn't have actually been that bad and I would have only gone over by a point or 2. The burger bap was 5 points, the burger itself was 3, the cheese was 2, so it wouldn't have been too bad. But because I had that cookie today, or half of that cookie, which I actually ended up eating the whole thing, I didn't have half at all. I had the first half and I was like, I'm eating the whole thing, so I ended up doing that. So obviously I went significantly over today, but it's actually weigh day tomorrow and I have majority of my weeklies left, so I'm not too concerned because I'm not looking to lose any weight. And even if I put a touch on, to be honest, it will probably do me a little bit of good, so I'm not being strict at all in the slightest. But I hope you all enjoyed it. I will pop my recipe for my homemade burgers in the description box down below, so make sure you go and check that out, along with links for what I've been wearing, homewares, because I do get asked a lot about my homewares and that kind of thing. But I'm gonna go and put the kids to bed now. They're upstairs brushing their teeth, making a lot of noise. I'm gonna go and catch up with those guys, see what they're up to. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe if you're new to see these every other day from me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.